Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
I'm going to match your energy, and if you're going to bring false titles, I'll bring false titles.
They're not false. Your
They're
6
old
are
as
real.
hell.
My 4 are real.
But they're old as hell.
So you can tell Rutledge that. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Amen.
Because I'm here for whatever. If you get food poisoning from a place, do you go back?
Like for more food?
No, if you go back ever. Like you get a bad burger from a place.
Give him a second chance? No.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside America's favorite Alex Gravatt. Here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I am Jim Rutledge in my snazzy Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's Crush at Coors Light.
I have a vest on today from our friends at Coors Light. You can see that on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. And Alex G in his basically what Ryan Wollersheim would call his fancy sweater here.
Yeah, I go skiing for the first time in my life.
Yeah, and now you think you're different, is what it is.
I've had this for 2 years,
Yeah.
Ryan. You've seen me wear this. In fact, the first day I ever was on, back then it was called, oh my goodness, Brust, Scalzo and Brust. They're like, they saw a picture of me and they're like, oh, that guy, he smokes. There's no doubt about it. Wow. So I don't know why you think I'm some uppity, rich guy for wearing a pretty normal branded thing that was not that expensive.
Full transparency. What it is that I just know you went to Utah, you went skiing in Vail, and I judge you for it.
Not Vail.
I think you're different. Every time I see you, I perceive you differently.
Brian's got a little Boston in him. You think you're better than me?
You think you're better than me? You think you're better than me because you went to one of the coasts?
Hey.
Utah's not even on a coast.
What? That's further than...
Because you left the state?
The coast of the coast of Lake Tahoe?
Salt Lake. Salt Lake City.
One of the coasts.
Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. We are presented by Coors Light. Alex G, Jim Rutledge with you. We got Chrissy Birdsall back as well. She's disappointed today with no hot sauce. So, sorry, Chrissy. We'll not be blowing up our tongues with ungodly amounts of heat. If you missed any of that, you can watch it back on our ESPN Madison YouTube and our socials at ESPN Madison, at Jim, Matt, and Molly, at Jim Rutledge on Blue Sky as well. All those great places. You can see me, David Kaplan, and Matt Hamilton melt our faces off as we tried the bomb as a payoff for the Bears-Packers bet. And, man, Matt Hamilton was very, very happy for, was it Carl Brooks who blocked the
Yeah, if it wasn't for Carl Brooks, Matt Hamilton would have been just taking double shots of the bomb on Friday.
That did, maybe Matt should get a jersey of Brooks just to thank him for saving him from that disaster. You can get into the show, 844-770-3776 on the Carbless Talk and Text line. And I want your reaction to this statement. I think you are a pathetic hater if you're mad about the Chiefs being in the Super Bowl. That is where I am at right now. And it's not even so. Let me pull back the curtain on the Chiefs side of things. So everyone gets all upset. Obviously, I'm a Bears fan. I like the Chiefs for a couple reasons. I could be a bitter Bears fan and be like, oh, the curse of Patrick Mahomes on the Bears. It ain't the curse of Patrick Mahomes on the Bears.
Could have had him.
The Bills could have had him. The Bills are the cursed team for Patrick Mahomes. The Bills are the team that are living the Patrick Mahomes curse. They also could have had Xavier Worthy, and they could have used him yesterday. But the Bills are the team that passed on Patrick Mahomes, traded with the Chiefs. They traded with the Chiefs so the Chiefs could go get Patrick Mahomes. So the curse belongs to the Buffalo Bills. And that's a credit to the Bills because they're in a position to actually be cursed. We've had this before. Packers might own the Bears, but realistically the Bears have been owning themselves for a very long time with how inept of a team they put out there. The Bills have at least been putting themselves in position to lose in key moments to the Chiefs. The Bears have not. Anyways, watching that game yesterday, I was rooting for the Chiefs, but my girls are Taylor Swift fans. Now, but here's the positive part of this. People are all getting their feels on it. You know what it's done? They've created two. They were lukewarm on the Bears. Now they start watching the Bears more, but now they love watching Travis Kelce and Travis Kelce's friend, Patrick Mahomes. That's how my youngest refers to Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Judgmental Jim.
And so now they are into sports. They are into the Super Bowl. We'll have a third straight Super Bowl party, and it is something that they are now into. So now I've been able to kind of parlay their love for the Chiefs into it. Now, then I had a friend who works for the Chiefs. He hooked me up with some gear. The girls got some hats and some gear. I got some hats and some gear. So, of course, I'm going to root for that team. Chiefs have no effect on my life as a sports fan, nor you as a Packers fan. They have no effect in your life. You have never faced the Chiefs in an important game.
No, I think that
since God knows most of us
Super
weren't born.
Bowl I.
Right.
Super Bowl I.
Right.
Come on. The Dark Ages. The
also,
caveman
Chiefs
times.
win.
Packers win. No, that was a great win for the Green Bay Packers, obviously.
Green Bay to
I
me.
was right there. No, I was not there. I'm 27 years old. No, I definitely agree. I think you can be upset without being a hater because, well,
Why are you upset, though?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I want to put that
I want
out
to put
there.
this 844-770-3776. The Carbos Talking text line. Listens more. Go ahead and you can text in or call us. Please explain your hate for greatness. G, you can share your thoughts.
So, first and foremost, I want to agree that, this is fantastic because it's good for football, it's good for the NFL, it's good for viewerships. It's really good because now my girlfriend and her Swiftie friends are all going to have a Super Bowl party. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen, and I'm going to get to sit there and watch, and we're going to have food and,
Makes
and
your
hang
life
out.
easier. You're not asking for a favor for watching the game.
It's just a good time, and so it's a place where everyone can get involved. We'll have a probably some sort of Travis Kelce bingo board for Super Bowl bets or something like that. It'll be fun. But I also want this rivalry between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen to be more interesting because right now there is still heat. Despite the loss, I think that this could be the nail in the coffin, but I want it to be Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning in the mid-2000s. Not like later on when Tom Brady just kept winning, whatever. I would love so much if, as long as it's not against the Packers, every Super Bowl for the next 5 years runs through Kansas City or Buffalo. I want that to be the, wow, we watched something great because I don't need to see one guy be great. I want to watch something epic, and something epic is conflict.
And I'll give you that. But in this case specifically, the Chiefs now have an opportunity to go win a third straight Super Bowl, something that's never been done in the history of the NFL. And Patrick Mahomes has a chance to cement himself unquestionably as the second greatest quarterback of all time.
At least.
Right, because now when you're counting Super Bowls, he's got 4. I think that's right there with Montana and Bradshaw, and the other one's basically not named Brady. So
Bradshaw doesn't even count.
Montana has 5, right?
does he have, I thought he had
It's
4.
5.
Is it 5 for
He's
Montana? Still, regardless.
The numbers are pretty crazy.
Yeah. Mahomes is going to be number 2. But here's the other part of it is history is unique. History is something that is special. The Bills winning is a neat story. But you know what we've seen a million times in the Super Bowl?
That is
A neat story. The Eagles winning, I don't have a major issue against the Eagles, but nobody likes the Eagles. They're a big city team. Their fans are mean. All that sort of storyline stuff.
I thought they were misunderstood.
I'm not, I just said it. This is not. I'm just putting
That's
out
the perspective.
Yes, that's
Okay.
national storyline for it. This time around, you are getting something that is rare. It's just like when the Chiefs lost to Tampa. You had Tom Brady going for another Super Bowl versus Patrick Mahomes. That was an amazing game. Not just because I had an opportunity to be down in Miami, but the whole hype and everything leading up to it. We had 2 weeks. 2 weeks of wow, isn't it neat the Bills might finally win a Super Bowl? It's going to get boring as hell. This time around, you got people obviously with strong opinions against the Chiefs, and we have an opportunity to see greatness in Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I am a fan of the Chicago Bulls. I grew up a fan of the Bulls, and I obviously that time around had a rooting interest of rooting for the Bulls. They won 6 titles in 8 years. Jordan's last 6 full seasons playing basketball with the Bulls, he won a title. And so that to me is truly remarkable, and I loved it. And every time they did it, it felt like this could be the last time until the next season started. And you know how special that was? They made a 6-hour documentary on ESPN about it, and we all look back longingly on it. Don't call me with the ref side of things, because I guarantee when the Bulls made that run, everyone's, the refs are in their corner. You know what nobody talked about in that documentary? The refs in their corner. Nobody cares about that. That is salty-ass fans whining about the refs. Every team that's ever won a Super Bowl ever, I'm sure the Patriots, the Tuck rule, I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all a dead story now. It's now about the legacy of Tom Brady and the Patriots and what they did. So don't get caught up in the minutia of whining about a call that didn't go here or didn't go there.
And Bill Belichick and his UNC new girlfriend, all the good stuff. No, I do tend to agree that, yes, this could be something good, but I also like to root for the underdog. Now, the problem being, if the Bills made the Super Bowl, there wouldn't be an underdog. It would be two teams, and we'd all be like, oh, well, Josh Allen seems like the better quarterback. Saquon Barkley's the more fun story. I am a fan of the Bills. Unquestionably my second favorite team, which is stupid.
And I don't dislike the Bills. Like, if they had gotten to the Super Bowl, I would have ended up coming around and rooting for the Bills. There's just no real juice to the storyline for the Bills.
Yeah, and my cousins are Eagles fans. That's kind of how I end up rooting for teams most of the time. It's like, oh, who do I care about that likes a team? And, despite myself liking the Bills and wanting the Bills to win, because, again, I would really like this. The storyline wouldn't be, oh, is Josh Allen going to win the Super Bowl if they win on? It would be next year, who's going to be the AFC representative, Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes. It's a long term. I'm not in it for this flashy one-time story. I'm talking with a long-term rivalry and livelihood of these two teams. Because now the question isn't who's going, it's can Lamar be the one? Because it clearly isn't Josh. And that's kind of part of the problem for me.
Yeah, and we did get someone chiming in. The Adam and Madison said, I'm just pissed because it's the Chiefs and the Eagles that made the Super Bowl. And that's the same as last year. It's not, though. It was the 49ers last year.
3 years ago.
Okay,
2 years?
but people kind of blended together.
You guys want to know a crazy number? Crazy stat?
Yo.
6 teams have made the Super Bowl in the last 6 years. 6 franchises, I should say, to clarify. But it's been the 49ers, the Bengals, the Rams, the Niners, the Chiefs, and one I'm forgetting. Who's the
Tampa
sixth
Bay.
one? Tampa Bay, the Bucks. Yeah. Doesn't that sound crazy?
It's sad, but the thing is, certain front offices, and this is what I was talking about before the show, and it's not nearly as important to talk about, but damn, did the Philadelphia Eagles out-hustle every single person. I mean, every other team, they've completely redone their defense from top to bottom. There's, I want to say, 7 or 8 new starters. Players are in different positions. They've gotten guys through the draft, and now they're back at the Super Bowl, 2 years removed, 3 years removed, whatever it is, and the Packers, who claim to have a good front office and are built very similar, can't get over that hump. And so I'm sitting here looking at the Eagles, feeling kind of sorry for myself. They're grinding.
JJ and Ponette chimes in. I will root a little bit for history, but I really don't care who wins. I probably won't even watch the game unless I'm invited to a party or a particularly interested Super Bowl party. I get where you're at. I was at, if the Bills had won versus the Eagles, I was like, I don't know if I'll watch it. I would have watched it less because we probably would not have had a Super Bowl party.
You're a radio host in sports. How are you not going to watch?
I'd catch it, I could maybe not watch it live. It just wouldn't be interesting to me.
Wow.
Because I don't care about the Bills or the Eagles.
Don't want to watch the commercials?
I'd probably end up watching, but again, I'm not getting the whole family to watch. I'm not making the whole. I'm not selling national Super Bowl ads.
It's lead gen, brother.
Matthew McConaughey's doing a Bears commercial.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch?
That broke my heart.
Who was it? Uber or who was it?
I don't know the brand, but yeah,
it was a food delivery.
Food delivery, I think.
Yeah.
You're right.
I don't know the connect. I'm excited to see it, but obviously, and my point was, I would come
Don't
around.
Bears.
I would come around, but I would have gone into it very not interested as far as who's winning it. It's more just I guess I'll just consume it. And I'm trying to remember, and we can bring up the last Super Bowls, but the non-Chiefs one, I was interested in the Rams-Bengals. You had Joe Burrow, Macaulay Culkin growing up, and then you had Matthew Stafford, the old gunslinger, finally getting his due as a great quarterback and winning that Super Bowl. I was really happy for him, but I wasn't going to be upset if Joe Burrow won. But I was interested in both storylines, and that was a fun one to watch.
Is Joe Burrow kind of following that same Matt Stafford? I mean, it's a little different because he made the Super Bowl, but there's something about Joe Burrow that is just so easy to like, and you can be a fan of, and he's doing nothing in the NFL right now. He's doing everything, but he isn't doing anything.
I'll be honest. I think if I had a chance to pick the MVP, I think he's the MVP. You look at his stats this year.
Nuts!
And the offense was great. He just had a bad defense.
Oh, terrible.
His numbers were, honestly, if you just 5 years from now, you look back, you're going to look at his numbers wait, this guy didn't win the MVP? And honestly, Lamar probably should have won it, but Josh is going to get it. And I like Josh.
You think?
I think Lamar was
It's a pretty split vote right now. I've heard many people across these very airwaves, national hosts, who are just gung-ho about one or the other. And the biggest reason people don't say Lamar is because they think it's Josh Allen's turn.
If you look at the AP votes for the two, the AP votes are pretty clear that Lamar has more support right now with the people who are actually voting on MVP.
I hope he wins because I think he was a better player this year. I mean,
you want to see something that hasn't been done since Brett Favre, damn it.
Yes. So I would say the last time if it had been the Bills, Eagles, I think the level of excitement for me would have been the last time I could care less about a Super Bowl at all would have been the 50th Super Bowl, Denver versus Carolina, and Denver won 24-10.
Wow. Dare you?
Who cares, man? I mean,
I'm sending
because otherwise it was New England in it, and then obviously the one that New England and Kansas City basically, and then the one that didn't feature one of those two teams.
You really didn't want to watch the Sheriff walk off into the sunset?
Oh, why does that matter? You didn't want to watch Brad Nortman bomb punts for 4 quarters? I mean, Jim.
No, I did not care about that game at all.
Wow.
Like that one was probably pretty low on my list.
Wow.
Yeah. Honestly, I barely remember that one. The rest of them, it's New England and Tampa, and then Los Angeles again with Stafford.
Yeah,
and that's what this Super Bowl could have been. Instead, we get a game where you're going to get haters watching it because they're going to hate. I'm going to love everyone seeing it in their feels because they're going to show Taylor Swift for a grand total of like 7 seconds in the game, and people are going to lose their damn mind. And then, like, that's going to be fun for me.
And they show Matthew McConaughey at Texas football games for like an hour.
Yeah.
That is a really unfair thing. Like, she's the most important person
and
not on the field.
ESPN's got all these extra channels. If I was ESPN, I'd ask whoever's broadcasting the Super Bowl, like, can we just carry the alternate feed of just Taylor Swift in the press box? That might outdo the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, if you told your girlfriend or just told people like, yeah, you can just have your own feed of just watching Taylor in the press box, it's doing numbers. It's outdoing a lot of sporting events.
Get one of those like big Reddit people, because there are people who are famous for being fans of Taylor Swift. Get like one of those Twitter folks.
Yeah.
Just you get your own show. You're gonna, ESPN Ocho, and it's gonna be you, the Super Bowl, and Taylor Swift in the corner.
Yeah, and so I'm here for all of it. The Super Bowl, thankfully, has juice, and this is probably the end. But now we also, because they're here, especially if they win, but the fact that they're here, we have a whole nother year of wondering, can they do it again?
True. And, like, listen, there's good, there's bad. Nothing about it is ugly, that's for sure. I'm an underdog guy. I love the underdog. And I think that Buffalo, in terms of cities that host NFL teams, is as underdog as it gets. And so there's a lot of reasons for me to like Buffalo. If it were against Baltimore, I would feel the same way about you as you do, because I don't think the Ravens are the same story as the Bills. I like the Bills. That's why I was rooting for them, and I will continue to root for them.
And I would have had, honestly, a little bit more of an interest in the Ravens. I just like the way they run the franchise.
Sure.
Chris Orr's brother on there. I was friends with a lot of people in Florida who were diehard Ravens fans, so that would have been more of a personal experience of like, I just want them to be able to have it.
And those are just Philly fans who eat crab cakes, is what Ravens fans are, by the way.
I love crab cakes.
And drink Yingling.
Yingling.
I guess Philly fans drink Yingling.
Yeah, that's
too.
all Rust Belt, isn't it? Kind of like
There's
Mid-Atlantic.
7 states.
I would call Maryland Rust Belt.
No, it's not. You're right. Mid-Atlantic is the better term.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. So you said, Ryan, and before we go to break, I want to say this. There has been 6 teams that have played in how many Super Bowls?
In the last 6 years that have made the Super Bowl.
All right, I want to look at those 6 teams and we're going to kind of see, like, why are they better than the Packers in the true prime sort of, you think you're better than me? Well, let's go see why the 49ers, Bengals, Rams, Tampa, Eagles, Chiefs have all been better at some level than the Green Bay Packers. What are the Packers missing? What's keeping them out of the Super Bowl? We'll talk about that on the other side. Don't get yourself in the doghouse, but if you do get in the doghouse, you can keep yourself in the best shape possible by going to our good friends at Chalmers Jewelers. Go get yourself a great watch over there. You can treat yourself. You could get yourself some jewelry to get yourself out of trouble. Some custom earrings, custom necklace, engagement ring. You could do wedding bands. All of that is over at Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. Madison's custom and Madison's family-owned jeweler. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Eagles' run game is based on the offensive line. Saquon Barkley does a great job with making second and third level defenders miss, but he's 15, 20 yards downfield. He doesn't get touched for 20 yards. I have a hard time saying that guy is the most important player on the team when nobody touches him for 2 first downs.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Say this to the fan bases out there. If you're not a Chiefs fan, that's okay. But resist the urge to fall for the narrative that we're tired of seeing them win, that we might be fatigued of watching KC go to the Super Bowl over and over again. You are witnessing greatness, and just be happy that you are alive to be there to see it.
That was Nate Burleson on CBS after the game. And Nate Burleson, I guess most known from Seattle. Is that how we know him?
I don't
Minnesota?
Really, I don't remember him as a player, I'll be honest.
What?
Not really.
I had him on a fantasy team or two. Yeah, I think Seattle, I like him because
Was
he
he
there
receiver?
with Golden Tate? Yeah.
Oh.
Was he there with Golden Tate or right after Golden Tate?
I feel like they overlapped.
Okay. I remember
Like
he wasn't
the Lions
like
too? How do you
great, but he was like that. I was deep in fantasy at that point. Like I had like 18 fantasy teams around that time.
Yeah.
I was like nerdier than I am now. Yeah, I was like 15. Like
It's not an excuse.
I had no life. I couldn't drive myself places, and I'm an only child. What do you want?
He's Alex G. Loser. I'm Jim Rutledge. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Matt, no Molly. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. We do have a poll question up at Jim, Matt, and Molly. And it basically asks, I think you're a pathetic loser. If you're rooting against Chiefs, do you agree with me?
You start with such a non-question. You're just like, hey, you're a loser. By the way, if you're a loser, this is what you'll say.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Can I also
mention
mention
a limited poll question?
You say
Why
that
are
as
you a loser?
No, you said I basically said you're a pathetic loser. It's like
No,
you said you're a pathetic loser. Not basically. That is what you said.
Amputee in the Mad City says, I will always vote to see something that may never happen again in my lifetime. He gets it. Or they get it. I don't know who it is. They did not specify amputee. I don't know. I don't know their gender. All right. Nate Burleson, Minnesota, Seattle, Detroit. He played for 10 years. 10 years.
Okay.
When did you
Your
start?
entire childhood,
When
bro.
did you start watching football?
Really watching football? Like, probably.
Do you even watch, bro?
I do watch football now, but back when I was like, honestly, 10 or 11, like, I'll be out.
I don't know what year that was. Give me a year.
2010 and 11.
You still
That's
would
what's
have had, okay.
nice about my age.
That was when he played for Detroit. Those were his best seasons. He had 73 catches in 2011.
I was not locked into the Lions at the time.
I think that this is really funny because you mentioned that the last Super Bowl that you didn't like was the Denver Broncos-Panthers. I did because I wanted to see Peyton Manning win one more before he left. The last one, like it goes.
I think I was rooting for Cam in that one, though.
Yeah, and that's fair.
There's so much unnecessary hate on Cam.
Yeah. I mean, he was not as, like, he had a crazy season once, and that's about it.
And I think Ryan Russillo said this, but I would like, this is not here nor there, but I think just go and look it back up. Cam Newton arguably had the greatest single season for a quarterback in college football history. Go look at that Auburn roster.
Really?
And go look and they won a title. And it's all Cam. Like, it is literally,
Cam.
like, Tim Tebow is one of the most overrated turds on the face of the earth. And, like, he was on a loaded Florida team.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, he was basically Alex Hornibrook with better PR. So, like, I just, like, the whole Tim Tebow thing is ridiculous. Cam Newton was, in that era, same time frame, 10 times better than Tim Tebow.
In the 2010 season with Auburn, Cam Newton as a rusher led the SEC in carries and rushing yards and rushing touchdowns.
And he was their quarterback.
And touchdowns from scrimmage.
Yeah.
Yes, and he was the quarterback.
Yeah.
He was, that is crazy.
Like, it's well, go ahead.
He basically did what Josh Allen did this year, but in college.
Right. With, like, Auburn, like, obviously it's still Auburn, but you're playing in the SEC compared to the other teams out there.
Some of those receivers might be better than Matt Collins.
Right. Yes.
Who had a really crazy catch.
did.
My gosh.
Yes, that was look, that catch changed. Like, that game could have gotten to be a blowout if he doesn't catch that pass.
Potentially.
So I wanted to look at this. You can chime in on the talking text on 844-770-3776. You can tell us why you're a pathetic loser and you're rooting against the Chiefs. List is more.
Chiefs
for our
win.
signing unlimited poll question, do you agree with me that I think you're a pathetic loser if you're rooting against the Chiefs? And it's mainly, look, if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, that's different. It's even like the Chiefs are in the opposite conference of the Packers. So there's really no harm or foul for Packer fans to root for the Chiefs.
What if a Bills fan sees this poll?
Well, Bills different.
Right, yeah.
Like, we're in Packer country.
So NFC fans, really?
But we're in Packer country right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm kind of specific to our audience.
I mean, like, this is the pettiest way to go about it. I'm rooting for the Chiefs almost because I don't want the Eagles to get that far ahead of the Packers in the last 5 years. Like, if the Chiefs go out if the Eagles go out and win, and Jalen Hurts looks good, and they've got this defense that they've completely rebuilt that's good, and Sirianni has a good, total smooth brain moment. If he
Cleveland,
goes out,
Philly, similar cities.
I don't
Not really dying to visit either of them.
If you said that to either fan base, you're going to get punched in the mouth immediately.
For sure.
There's no two cities with more pride in their city than those two.
I would say I would rather go to Philly over
Philly's
Cleveland.
a great city.
Cleveland, what are we doing in Cleveland?
I don't know.
Tire fires?
But like the Packers are going to just fall further into the abyss if the Eagles go out and do this. They're further away from being relevant, and that would hurt my feelings.
On that, and I do want to get to why aren't the Packers here, but Philadelphia, like on paper, Sirianni's better coach than LaFleur. He's gone to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
and he developed Jalen. He's going to get the most credit for the development of Jalen Hurts.
But here's the thing. Yes, he will get all that. They're so similar, and like when you look at the stats, the two of them are just blowing away record after record, and it looks really good. I don't think you can make a strong argument for LaFleur to be better at this point.
I mean, 2 Super Bowls in, you can't. And even if you want to say it's the assistants for Sirianni, great. He hired them. He went and got Kellen Moore, and he went and got Vic Fangio. And so that's him.
Nick Sirianni has the best record for a head coach of the first 68 games in a career with the same team, though he's tied for that record.
Nick Sirianni.
He's tied at 6-0. He's tied at 70.6% winning percentage, an exact 48-20, tied with Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Matt LaFleur was his teams were quarterbacked by who?
His teams were quarterbacked by Aaron Rodgers, and that team also was going up against Tom Brady, which Nick Sirianni never did.
Nick Sirianni, 48.
Well, he did. They lost.
48-20 as a coach. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 4 playoff appearances, 2 division titles, 5-3 in the playoffs. Like, when it matters, I'm not saying I actually believe that, but you can't, on paper, you can't argue against it.
Right, and the Eagles ran the one time they ran into the absolute hapless, most injured team in NFC Championship history with the 49ers that year, but they did it.
Yeah.
They didn't have to play against a full-fledged Lions team, but the Packers didn't either and also lost.
And then you look at Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry, his resume is dramatically more impressive than Jordan Love's.
Outside of the Super Bowl.
Outside of the Super Bowls, that means he has to win games to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and you have to include, and I'm not a big fan of the tush push, but his rushing yards and touchdowns, those count.
Because who's going to win the MVP this year? Lamar Jackson, because he's a one-man wrecking force. The only other person who could possibly do it is Josh Allen, also a one-man wrecking force. Jordan Love isn't doing that right now.
So let's take a look at this then. We'll get to break here, but I want to at least throw this out there. So Ryan pointed out last 6 years, 6 teams have played in the Super Bowl. So let's look at these teams, and then I want to ask the question, is it Matt LaFleur's fault or is it Jordan Love's fault that the Packers have not gotten to the Super Bowl? And it might be LaFleur, because LaFleur had Rodgers first, and now he's not doing it with Jordan Love. Let's go. I need a little music here.
We should do this after a break.
I'm going to at least run through the combinations here.
Well, right, we can do that after the break. You can tease it right now.
I'm going to run through the combinations.
You know how good it's going to be if we wait?
I'm going to give you the team so you can think about it. The 49ers have Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy and Jimmy G. The Bengals would have had Joe Burrow, who's Zach Taylor as their coach.
Yeah.
The Rams, Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford. Tampa, it was
Tom Brady,
Bruce Arians, and Tom Brady. And then you had the Eagles with Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, and then the Chiefs with Reed and Mahomes. So those are the combinations. And then we'll figure out on the other side who is at fault for the Packers. Most at fault between these two. Because to win, you got to have a quarterback, a play caller. A quarterback and a head coach. And the Packers are obviously coming up short with one of them. We'll get your thoughts on who that is on the other side. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Just announced 0.99% APR for 60 months on select new 2024 Audis. Eligible models include the Q4 e-trons, Q4 e-tron Sportbacks, and the Q8 e-trons. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $1,667 per $1,000 finance. All offers require qualified credit through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends February 3rd, 2025. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com and see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
When you overburden, you push too hard, your Conestoga wheel falls off, and you're not going to be able to recover in time, and you end up sitting on the side of the road hoping somebody pulls up with a better Conestoga, and you got to reload next year.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Hallman Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Ordering pizza for game day can be a tough call to make. Do you get a pizza or are you craving some wings? At Pizza Hut, there's only one right answer. Get both. Introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 sauces for only $19.99. An unbeatable value that can feed the whole crew. Perfect for game days, family nights, or any gathering. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot like the prodigal son. Big up Bartolini, meeny, money, mo, and flower, you're the chosen one.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge. Alex G. with me as well. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. You can get in on the show, 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talk and Text line. List is more. Ryan, our psychedelic advisor, chimes in. Does anyone else think the Chiefs received a bevy of calls? And he pointed out, I'm a Bears fan and a Bills fan. My best friend is from Buffalo. And Ryan,
Chiefs win.
Again, the call side of things. Look, I was watching the game with the Chiefs eye, and I thought there was times where the Chiefs should have gotten calls, like they should have gotten calls for them they didn't go there in their favor. So when you're watching a game, even the Josh Allen one is a bit surprising to me because the simple fact of it is the line judge, the one closest to it, came out short. And in slow motion, yes, maybe Josh Allen crossed it for like a tenth of a second. Is that enough to say he got the first down? Because if you look at overhead view of the ball still never crossed the line. That's where everyone gets upset with Josh Allen was the tush push on 4th down, and he got turned away. And one angle looks like maybe he crossed the line for a second, but if you look from above, his left shoulder crosses, but the ball still stays behind the line. And the line judge closest to that spot marked it short. So that's not some egregious call. The Bills lost because, and this is not fair to Dalton Kincaid, but he didn't catch that Hail Mary pass. Now that's a hard pass to catch.
They lost because the defensive coordinator outthought and confused Josh Allen because Josh Allen moves the protection to the left side, leaving 2 open rushers on the right side because it was a beautiful, brilliant play because the Chiefs have just an all-star squad of coaches. It's nuts.
Well, and you know what? When, let's say Jeff Hafley does well for the Green Bay Packers.
He's done well so far.
Well, one season. So let's say he does well enough to move on. So far. Let's say he does well enough to move on. I didn't say he didn't do well. I said he continues.
You added a qualifier that I also added.
Okay.
I think he's right about so far. I'd agree. 1 year, we got to see it still.
And also, Alex, what happened in the game against the Bears? The Bears went down the field and scored. What happened against Detroit? These other games, they still have the same problem, even though statistically they're better. At the end of some of these important games, they were bled out. Philadelphia and others, where they said, we're going to bleed this out and score. And that's always been the biggest issue for the Packers. Even Joe Barry had some good defenses, and what happened was when they needed to stop, they couldn't get it.
It feels different this year.
And they also didn't stop the good teams.
In that there are players who I feel like can produce a stop. The problem is that the defensive line is not good. It's just not it. And again, outright
I think Jeff Hafley is a good coach. And my point was, if let's say he continues on this and he gets a head coaching job at some point, a guy like Steve Spagnuolo is the type you want for LaFleur. Because what you want in a defensive coordinator for an offensive-minded coach is kind of the guy who's never going to be a head coach. Whether they've failed, Vic Fangio with Sirianni's great right now. Vic Fangio's never getting a head coaching opportunity again.
No, he was
I mean, in Chicago, Dennis Allen. They're excited about Dennis Allen because when he's the play caller of the defense, the last time he did that, he was ranked number one play caller of defense. He is a terrible head coach. He is a very good defensive coordinator. Eberflus, good defensive coordinator, terrible head coach. So ideally, you want to pair the offensive coach with a defensive coordinator who's failed so much as a head coach, they got no chance to go anywhere. And that's what Spagnuolo is. Because Spagnuolo is an elite defensive coordinator, and usually you get an opportunity to be a head coach again. That's not going to happen. So in a perfect world, if Hafley does well and the Packers do well and he gets an opportunity to be a head coach, you want to find your Spagnuolo, the guy who's really good at calling plays but knows he's never been a head coach again.
The group of people who get chosen to be head coaches is so weird to me. It's like, oh, well, it's such a small group. It's weird. I don't have anywhere to go with that. I just needed to say the cesspool of coaches who are just rotating around and failing everywhere, crazy.
That's fair. Mike McCarthy maybe making his way down to New Orleans.
He's doing fine.
I'd still take, but again, it goes back to: are you taking McCarthy or are you taking a
Jeff Hafley?
Right. And I don't. There's no set. It's just like finding a quarterback. You're just trying to figure out, to read the tea leaves the best you can to figure out if a guy can be the coach. And doing your research and trying to really vet out everything you can about them for a first-time coach is the way to go. And as a retread, to your point, sometimes they're getting fired for a reason.
Right.
And so my point was, you're right. Josh Allen and Joe Brady were out schemed on that last play there, where
100%.
And that was Spagnuolo, a guy who's he's never going to be a head coach again. So the Chiefs got him basically as long as they got Andy Reid. So they'll be in good shape. So that kind of gets us to the coaching thing. So I teased this before the break, and I want to get to it before Ryan tells me I have to break again. And so I want to ask, this is our siding limit poll question. Why didn't the Packers, what's the biggest reason between these two the Packers didn't make the Super Bowl this year? Jordan Love or Matt LaFleur? Because I was listening to Wildy and Tausch earlier, and they're like, oh, well, Josh Jacobs, and if he's on Philly, does he do this? No. Saquon Barkley is elite. Josh Jacobs is good, really good. Like, Josh Jacobs is Pro Bowl, sometimes running back, like that level running back. Saquon Barkley is in the closer to the Mahomes-style running back. Like,
in your lifetime, would you be shocked to see Josh Jacobs be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Would you be shocked if Saquon Barkley was?
No.
Exactly.
But you look at
they're
Barkley,
great.
right now it's Barkley and Henry, and then Jacobs is in the tier below with a bunch of other good running backs, and you're happy to have them. And the Packers,
100%.
But the Packers, to me, honestly, just on this little note, to really unlock Jacobs, you need a compliment. And that's the difference between a Henry and a Barkley. Jacobs would be so much better, and hopefully for the Packer fans, Marshawn Lloyd is that guy, and then he could be the opposite. And now all of a sudden you got a fresher Jacobs, and then you got a home run hitter. Because Jacobs is not a home run hitter.
No.
He is a ground and pound type running back.
The stats show it. Like, Saquon Barkley had 7 plays of 40-plus yards this season, and Josh Jacobs had 0. Josh Jacobs is a really good running back. He is clearly the kind of back that Matt LaFleur wants. He wants someone who's going to wear you down, tire you out, force you to stack the box. Otherwise, he's just going to continuously fall forward for first downs, a la Wisconsin football.
Right.
And then he's going to throw over the top of you. Now, that's what they have. It's good, but it is not Saquon Barkley, who you can build an offense around. That's why he was the number 2 pick in the NFL draft that year.
So we're in consensus on the Barkley question. So I got to thinking, and I felt like they hemmed and hawed around it. Now, they did say that, Tasha had a kind of a weird ice pick sort of climbing Mount Denali sort of whatever mountain you want to do, but I prefer Mount Denali. And so, like, he was trying to climb that one, and you didn't have the ice picks or whatever. So I went, and the simplest answer is you don't have the quarterback. And so Jordan Love is good. And I'm not saying you don't have it forever. But over the last 2 years, Jordan Love has not been good enough, and we all can agree on that, to get the Packers to the Super Bowl. And the Philadelphia Eagles are a little bit of an outlier, but we just talked about it. They have Saquon Barkley. They have a perfect team, and they have a quarterback who fits their offense perfect. Like, Kellen Moore has built his offense around Jalen Hurts. He has made a Jalen Hurts offense. The offense works specifically for Jalen Hurts. Now, is Jalen Hurts a traditionally as good a quarterback as Jordan Love? No. But in the Jalen Hurts offense, Jalen Hurts, I think, is better than Jordan Love. Now, can Matt LaFleur make an offense that fits Jordan Love better? Sure. But Jalen Hurts statistically has put up monster numbers. He's efficient. He doesn't turn it over a lot. He scores a lot of touchdowns when you count for rushing them. And the team is scoring a lot of points. It's a very good offense. And they've gone to Super Bowls 2 out of the last 3 years. They've gone to the playoffs 3 years in a row. And so you can't really argue with against Jalen Hurts on that. We talk about Josh Allen in this game. Well, Josh Allen, obviously, MVP candidate. And then Jaden Daniels, rookie skill QB, playing maybe the greatest rookie season of all time for quarterback. We'll have to wait and see what happens. C.J. Stroud came back down to earth a little bit. Still a really good quarterback, but not the second coming of Tom Brady. So the question I wanted to ask, and we threw it out there once before, but I'll throw it out again, the side unlimited poll question, whose shoulders more blame for the Packers not making the Super Bowl the last 2 years? Matt LaFleur or Jordan Love? 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless Talking text line. Less is more. It's a side unlimited poll question. And initially, Alex, I want to say LaFleur because he didn't do it with Rodgers as well.
But I will say there's just a little bit of me that wants to give more blame to Rodgers, which is weird because I wasn't that guy for a long time. I think that Rodgers had a lot of times in his career where he was let down pretty big by the organization, and there were some times where he let the organization down big. It never was a perfect marriage. Specifically that last year, there are a bunch of times where it was just him looking for Devontae, or I guess not even that. That last year was just him giving up on the team entirely. But specifically the year before that, he looked for Devontae. He wasn't calling the plays that were called. Things were going wrong. And so it feels weird, and we watch him this year on the Jets absolutely bungle a season away. I mean, this is a terrible way to peter out. As if you want to be an all-time great, this is not how you want to go out. And so before Jordan Love, it wasn't a good marriage, and it doesn't feel like we can. I don't know how I can properly assess blame. Now that Jordan Love is here, we're 2 years in. I think it's more on Jordan Love because Jordan Love is not Patrick Mahomes, right? So the NFC is better because there is no Pat Mahomes. There is no one you run through that team. If they can put together a game plan and something that can catch flames and be a 1 year wonder, they can take over the NFC. It can happen. And it's proven because every year it's a different team in the NFC, it feels like. Yes, the Eagles have done it twice, but entirely separate ways. The San Francisco 49ers have done it entirely different ways, and the Rams have done it once recently. So when you look at it that way, there is no unbeatable giant in the NFC, which means, is it that Jordan Love's not good enough? Yes, but it's that he hasn't been good enough yet, and I do believe that the NFC is winnable.
Yes, but Jaden Daniels puts an asterisk on that. Like what he did this year, he could be Mahomes. He could be. I don't know where he's going to end up, but he is off to a hell of a start. Now, here's the thing with Daniels, which is worth noting, that we don't know what his ceiling will be. I did write this down somewhere, but he had a lot of college experience. So he might be, and this is my whole case with Jordan Love. So for an example, with Jordan Love, I said this year and going forward, he might not get exponentially better. He might get better in the margins because obviously Jordan Love, Jordan Love is fascinating. He had 38 college starts, and he came in as so his first year as a starter, he was 25 years old and had 38 college starts. For an example, Jaden Daniels, 24 years old, had 55 college starts. So, again, a lot of experience starting games. Bo Nix, 25 and 61. So he was 25 years old with 61 college starts when he started as a rookie this year. And then you look at Cam Ward. Cam Ward has 57 college starts. So when you look at some of these guys, like what are they going to be? Daniels and Love might be more cooked than we think. Not like in a bad way, but they might be closer to their fuller product because they've already had a lot of experience.
Wait, you're saying Jordan Love had a lot of experience despite having less experience than these other rookies?
But he was 25 when he started. I'm saying that right now Jordan Love now has 2 seasons in the books plus 38 college starts, and he started at 25. What we see out of Jordan Love might just be Jordan Love.
And we've seen good stuff from Jordan Love.
Right, but right now he would be Baker Mayfield, which is a good quarterback.
Baker Mayfield struggled more than Jordan Love has to start his career in particular, and he was better in college.
Okay, but as a QBR in the NFC, Baker Mayfield better.
In the NFC?
Yes.
The last 2 years?
I'm just bringing up this year.
Well, wins-loss, Jordan Love's better.
We're talking about teams then. Baker Mayfield and Jordan Love are more comparable than you want to admit. I'm sorry. Baker Mayfield probably has more MVP votes than Jordan Love got this year.
Neither of them got a lick of MVP vote.
I think you're underestimating Baker Mayfield. Like, you should aspire, like Jordan Love should aspire to have this season that Baker Mayfield had this year.
Baker Mayfield, I'm
41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 4,500 yards.
True. Yeah, he also has 2 fantastic players to throw the ball to. 3. Kate Otton's not bad. I mean, like they were also down. How much of that is from the
Tampa made the playoffs?
Yeah,
the higher seed.
Well, okay, fewer wins.
He had 1.5 of the really good receivers this year, by the way. Chris Godwin did.
Oh, that's ACL. Right, the ACL. Yeah. But
either way.
How old is Baker Mayfield? 29. So yeah, 29 years old. So he's got 4 years to develop into Baker Mayfield.
I'm sorry, Jordan Love turns 27 this upcoming season.
2 years.
In case you were wondering, by the way, Baker Mayfield, 48 career starts in college.
Right. Well, and my whole point, I looked that all up because everyone loves to hate on Caleb. He had the lowest of all those. He had less than all those guys.
So this is a Bears point.
It is a Bears take.
It was actually
a Bears take.
It was a draft research take because I was wondering about Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders.
Why are you wondering about Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders?
Because I care about the NFL.
Are you already done with Caleb?
No, you don't. You're not going to watch this Super Bowl if the Chiefs aren't in it.
They're in
it. No. He's moving off Caleb Williams. No. He's already putting in contingency plans.
Yes.
Look, all right.
He's losing faith.
I'm not losing faith.
What freshman quarterbacks are starting right now?
No. So, anyways, I was
there
looking
is somebody
at,
in the YouTube chat saying
I actually
that
think
Packers should tank for Arch Manning.
I think the Packers, no lie, if Jalen Milrose fell to second round, maybe take him.
I mean,
there's talk he might. He needs some
he'll
seasoning.
fall. He'll
he
fall.
needs some seasoning.
He needs.
You're paying Baker Mayfield $55.5 million a year.
He needs some marinating. He needs some marinating, not seasoning.
Again, he does not have a lot of. I mean, he's got basically the highest skill set, I would think. I like the draft. I'm a draft nerd, so I was just looking into the guys.
Right,
likes the draft more than Super Bowl.
True. Factual.
If the Bills and the Eagles are playing, yeah, I probably would. I'd be more locked into. I would have watched more live draft than I would have Bills Eagles, without a doubt. Without that, but that's neither here nor there. Because
he likes Mel Kiper more than Tom Brady.
Well, me too, though. Mel Kiper's a good dude.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Tom Brady's weird.
We do have a few texts coming in. It's funny how you say Bumble a season away for Aaron Rodgers when he had the exact same season stats. Jordan Love stinks. That's JB from the V. Ty in Sun Prairie chimes in. Who do you take, LaFleur and Mahomes or Reed and Love? That answers your question. Fair. JB and the V, please cut the mic on this Jordan Love apologist. I cannot listen to his ice cold takes any longer. Jordan Love has a prove-it season coming up.
Yeah, because he's shown you enough to give you something to believe in. He's not. I'm not saying he's Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I'm saying he's something that you could build around and win the NFC with because none of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL are in the NFC.
Okay, but my whole point is that's the exact conversation around Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff and Sam Darnold. They're not getting paid $55.5 million a year.
Yeah, Jared Goff was getting paid enough to make his team trade him away and a first-round pick.
Jared Goff is getting paid $53.1 million a year.
You're right.
Not $55.5.
Fair enough.
And who's won the division the last 2 years?
Fair enough.
All right.
I will also say, do you think that Matt LaFleur has a lot to prove next season too?
Yes.
Who has more to prove?
Let's just not put it all out there at once.
Hey.
We got a lot of shows.
Jason Wilde's been talking about that a lot. He's training tomorrow.
A lot of time. We can ask Jason about that. But who is more to blame, Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur? I think the answer is Jordan Love. And it's not Jordan Love's fault that maybe Jordan Love is closer to that good quarterback and not the elite. And a good quarterback getting paid elite money is a recipe for disaster, just like not focusing on your body, whether that's hormone optimization or the idea of taking GLP-1s. Either one of those things, you want to talk to a doctor. Talk to Dr. Nestor Rodriguez over at Carbon World Health. They have a location in Sun Prairie, and they have a location on the west side. The west side location is going to have a gym. It has red light therapy. It has cryotherapy. Red light therapy can help with blood flow. It also can help with, there's no sun outside, ever. Red light therapy can help replace some of that vitamin D you're missing from never seeing the sun. I got to go down to Florida for it, but they have cryo, which is great for recovery for the olds like me. So whatever it is, wherever you are in your fitness journey, Carbon World Health is the place to go. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. The Xavier Lucas Wisconsin drama raising concerns in the new era of NIL agreements. CBS Sports insider Shahan Jayaraja joining the Jump Around digital show. His big question on the matter:
how far does everyone want to take this? Because it could just be a warning shot. This could turn into a huge lawsuit where potentially at issue would be whether the idea of a player being able to leave a rev share agreement would be on the table. It would be a huge precedent to set for the future of college football.
The Jump Around streaming Thursdays at 12:30 on ESPN Madison's YouTube channel.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. I was able to drop 40 pounds thanks to Madison Weight Loss. It's the only program I've ever experienced to actually achieve my weight loss goals. Check out MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule a free consultation and see how the program can help you.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Outside in. That's what we call our Siding Unlimited showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. All the stuff defending the outside of your home against Wisconsin's weather displayed inside. Many siding options and colors, plus full display of Pella windows and patio doors, and roofing too. Wisconsin's own Siding Unlimited, 4-time National Pella Platinum Premier Contractor of the Year and proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, awaits you inside our showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road. SidingUnlimited.com.
Ordering pizza for game day can be a tough call to make. Do you get a pizza, or are you craving some wings? At Pizza Hut, there's only one right answer. Get both. Introducing Pizza Hut's original stuffed crust and wings bundle. Get a large 1-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings with 2 sauces for only $19.99. An unbeatable value that can feed the whole crew. Perfect for game days, family nights, or any gathering. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
I need you, Ryan. You'll have to pick on Ben Johnson for his cringe, in your words, joke about the Packers on the floor. There is all over social media, Liam Cohen.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
That is brutal. That's like the pig suey from Brett Bielema with Arkansas.
Duval.
You just did it better than he did, Duval.
You know what that reminds me of? That's like Brian Kelly with the my family when he got hired at LSU.
Right.
Let me just pick up this culture right quick after I came from South Bend, Indiana for 7 years.
Right, it's like if I start doing a show up north, like, yeah, the Packers, and you get the Liam Cohen, the quarter.
Do I have a Yooper accent?
Probably maybe to someone who's not from here. Your accent is not remarkable to me.
Okay.
I remember when I lived in Florida, people were disappointed when they found out I was that I was from Wisconsin. They met me and I didn't have a Wisconsin accent. Like, they were looking forward to like the Bobby's World, or there's an old show with Howie Mandel with the "Don't you know," that kind of accent. But I think that's you got to get north of We decided, what was the Mason-Dixon line in Wisconsin?
Oh God, I think it was a certain highway. I can't remember which one.
Is it the one that runs from Wausau to Green Bay?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll find that.
Yeah, we can reestablish that on the talk text line 844-770-3776. That's the Carbless talking text line. Less is more. Our Siding Unlimited poll question right now is a landslide. What's the bigger reason the Packers didn't make the Super Bowl? Jordan Love or Matt LaFleur? And 72% of you say Jordan Love.
Highway 29.
There, that's it.
Highway 29 is the Mason-Dixon line.
That's where the accents start kicking in.
Real deep, yeah.
That's where you start getting that, the weird, what was it? I don't know exactly where the Manitowoc is. Who's the
Manitowoc Minute, Charlie
Stephen
Barron?
Avery?
No, not that guy, Stephen Avery.
Oh.
Making a murderer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
A little more dour than the Manitowoc Minute, I would
But
say.
we're talking Mason-Dixon line.
It's not
slightly more. Just a little bit more.
No, because I'm north of Manitowoc.
Not everyone there. There's people from
The Fox Valley is very tame. So is Green Bay, where G's from.
Well, my parents moved there after I graduated college. So it's not like I'm from Green Bay. I've been to Green Bay semi-regularly recently.
Oh, so you think you're better than me is what you're saying?
Yes, I am. I wear Eddie
Once
Bauer.
again, you think you're better than me.
Okay, ESPN Adidas.
You grew up on Lake Geneva coast, you coastal elite.
All right. Anyways.
Elkhart Lake, it's more hidden. It's a hidden gem.
We also asked the question at Jim, Matt, and Molly, another Siding Unlimited poll question. I said you are a pathetic hater if you're rooting against the Chiefs, and 64% of you say no, boo the Chiefs. So.
Chiefs win.
Losers.
Just so mean.
Hers. And we also had a discussion about who's to blame more, LaFleur or Jordan Love, with the Packers not making the Super Bowl the last 2 years. And look, the answer is there's a lot of things to it, but you have to put it on the quarterback. This is a quarterback league. And to your point, the NFC not loaded up with great quarterbacks.
Why did Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs why did the Chiefs win yesterday? Chiefs win.
I mean, Mahomes made plays.
Mahomes made plays, but the reason the NFL changed the overtime rules in the playoff is to make sure that both teams have a shot so that it's a good game. And the Bills had a shot. But the Chiefs came down and won that game on defense, 100%. Derek Engler, who will not be joining us, but is usually a host of the Great Dane Huddle with me on Monday nights, which I'll be flying out of here in a moment to go host, said defense wins championships. He texted me that first thing.
Yes, and the Chiefs' defense is really good. Now, defenses don't win championships because if you don't have a quarterback, you're not winning bupkis. But you need a defense to win with the quarterback.
Right, and the thing is, it's not about having this mobile talent, like elite talented quarterback. It is about having a guy who is going to run a methodical team and have a good defense. That's what Tom Brady did. That's what we've seen Patrick Mahomes do this year, and why I'm less excited about the Chiefs, because when Patty was throwing 35-yard horizontal passes in the game in the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I was a big fan. That was awesome. Now he's checking it down for 5, 6, 7 yards. He looks smart. He looks confident and capable.
He's in his Jordan turnaround era.
Exactly.
The turnaround jumper.
And that's why when I see what Jordan Love is doing, I'm not scared yet, because that's where it falls on the front office in particular and Matt LaFleur.
I wanted to point this out, and then I know you got to get going. Jaden Daniels could be that guy that could scare you. He could be that elite guy.
Sure.
I mean, so there are quarterbacks in this division and within this league who could surpass the Packers. And that's the part that I think the Packers maybe got caught flat-footed on and Packer fans got flat-footed. And I would like to point out, I'll pat myself on the back, the Packers I said they were going to win 11 games. I said that they were going to win one playoff game, so I was wrong on that. But they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. I thought Jordan Love was going to be the same player last year he was this year, marginally better. He got better in the margins.
Sure.
And so this offseason is big for the Packers, but I think they have to build their team like they have Jared Goff and not like they have Patrick Mahomes. And I think if you do that, then you're setting yourself up for success. Because if you give Jordan Love more playmakers, he is capable enough. Again, I think Brock Purdy, who is more successful than Jordan Love, is a better comp for Jordan Love than Aaron Rodgers at this point in their careers.
What was Aaron Rodgers' knock?
Aaron Rodgers' knock? I don't know.
He held the ball too long, and he always tried to be the superhero.
You're talking about at the very end.
That's been one of the things on his plate forever. He was really good, don't get me wrong, and when he knew what he wanted to do, he was excellent. But he oftentimes held the ball too long and tried to do too much. And we're seeing Jordan Love do that. Who's winning the games right now? Patrick Mahomes with 7-yard checkdowns, because if you're at 4th and 1, you can do the tush push, which I know people are really upset about, but it wins games. Right? You can do things like that. And we've got the Tucker Kraft push, the Kraft crash. Is that what we called it? Oh. Did we have a thing for that?
Did we call it that, or did you call it that?
I thought maybe Pablo and I, our social media guy, had a conversation about it as he waves at me from his
Was that on air?
No,
it was definitely not on this show.
But it happened in this office. All right, I spend a lot of time in office.
You got a mouse in your pocket there?
What's that about?
We got a mouse in your pocket. Just like when you talk about we the Packers.
It's an old-timey phrase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We, you and the mouse in your pocket. That's the we. It was not a shot.
That's wild.
It was not a masculinity shot there.
Just making fun
40?
of Nintendo.
I'm a man, I'm 40, or no?
Oh, yeah, we do. Of course.
Eric Big chimes in. I think who is more to blame and not who has more to prove is a better question. And the different question with different answers. In my opinion, Matt LaFleur has more to blame this year with our disjointed offense not marrying up with the run better. That would be also on Josh Jacobs or Goody. Josh Jacobs is a guy who likes to run out of the shotgun. LaFleur does not like to. It's harder to run the play action out of the shotgun. So bringing in a guy who can't necessarily succeed in the way that your coach likes to run the offense. And I'm not saying bringing Jacobs was a mistake, but probably should have nipped that in the bud ahead of time or had a deeper conversation on that. But he has been a consistent winner with Love and Rodgers. Love has to prove that his hot streak, the end of 23-24 season, wasn't a fluke. He has not put together a consistent season at this point. If you take away that hot streak, and I'm not going to, but I'm saying that like if you just took away the best and the worst out of Jordan Love, again, you're staring Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, and some of those Brock Purdy in the eye. And those guys are all quarterbacks I think you can go to the Super Bowl with. And you're maybe not going to beat Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but you can get there with any of them. So I'm not saying the Packers are cooked and they can't go anywhere. Ricky DeForest chimes in. It's totally on Coach LaFleur. He is the person that gets the players prepared and ready. He's the one that calls the plays and scripts everything. I will go with primetime over any producer at ESPN Madison. I'm with you, too.
Oh, whoa. Thank you.
Sweet.
I don't know what that was for, but
thank you.
Thanks, Rick. By the way, the great text from JB and the V, too, educating us. Did you see that one, Jim?
Yeah, I didn't know that was it. Okay, JB from the V says the new updated phrase for "Do you have a mouse in your pocket?" is "Do you have a turd in your pocket?" How is that updated?
I don't know, but I liked it. You thought it was a good turn of phrase.
I thought it would be like a fidget spinner or something. You know what I mean? Like something more modern. I don't know why anyone ever had a mouse in their pocket, but
why would anyone have a turd in their pocket?
My friend has a pet. Oh, what is it? A pet chipmunk, and I ran into her at a thrift store once. And it was in her pocket. It was just curled up in a ball.
That was the most Alex G statement I've ever heard in my life.
On that note, this is Jim Matt and Molly.
Bye.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. And no wins for the Green Bay Packers as they were not participating in Championship Sunday this past weekend. Tune into the second hour, Jim, Matt, and Molly, and listen back to the first hour on Wisconsin On Demand. Speaking about what was the bigger reason the Packers did not make the Super Bowl, unlike the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles this year. And then also coming up tonight, we got the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Utah Jazz. Bucks coming off a loss to the Clippers on Saturday night, looking to rebound on their West Coast road trip. Bucks currently 9.5-point favorites per ESPN Bet. That game tips off at 8 p.m., so pregame starts at 7:30 right here on 100.5 ESPN. And then some Green Bay Packers offseason news, however. They did announce today, or multiple reports announced today, that they are rehiring offensive analyst Luke Getsy in an unnamed analyst special coordinator role, while also extending special teams coordinator Rich Bisaccia. Head over to ESPNWisconsin.com for more news, notes, and coverage from ESPN reporter Rob Domowski.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
I'm going to match your energy, and if you're going to bring false titles, I'll bring false titles.
They're not false. Your 6 are real. My 4 are real.
But they're old as hell.
Chiefs win.
You kidding me? Kansas City! Hey, before you guys get out of here, just do a little dance, make a little love. Yeah, get down tonight.
Thank you, Travis. Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Alex's last name, who I always screw up, Gravatt. Here's Jim Rutledge.
False advertising. No Alex G. It's just me, Jim Rutledge, live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I got you for the next hour. We'll do a lacrosse talk with the Great Dane Huddle folks, Tarek Sala, and Alex G in a little bit. Alex G making his way out to the Great Dane for that. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Matt, no Molly. Brian, we always knew we'd end up here, though. Like, realistically, with Molly being out with babies, Matt curling, doing whatever.
We knew this would eventually come around, yeah. It would happen one day.
But if the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that is crush a Coors Light.
Because we are presented by Coors Light. Because apparently people are worried I will get lonely in here by myself. Chrissy Birdsall is in here. Just to hey, just make sure Jim doesn't go insane all by himself.
She's here to listen to
studio.
you, and anytime you have an amazing take, she's there to cut it and make sure we get it out in a timely manner.
All right, so she's been busy today. I'll tell you that for sure.
Pathetic loser talk. I've been putting her to work, dude. I've just been in her ear, that clip, every time.
I would like to get to, obviously, Don't Quote Me, which I think I did pretty well in.
You did.
You did, too. The other two losers who aren't on the show, they bombed. Hate, absolutely loathe, and hate some more is basically how they felt about this weekend. Because they came in just wanting to hate on the Eagles and the Chiefs, and they obviously had to eat some crow. So, as I continue my old man references, those are before my time as well. But I want to get to just a quick little thing here. It gave me solace because what is going on right now with Liam Cohen and the Jaguars, in not too different of a world, Ryan, that's me and the Bears. Like, you hire some goofball offensive coordinator who had one mildly successful season calling plays, who turned you down the first time, then you fire the GM to then get him, to then give this guy power and a ton of money. Like, honestly, this was my fear when I was like, you know what, just hire McCarthy, because at least you're not going to do something dumb like the Jaguars just did. And Liam Cohen, I think, just screams disaster, because he has been able to write checks that his resume cannot cash. And then you have him at a press conference. And we had David Kaplan on from ESPN Chicago, and we paid off our bet, and you can see that on ESPN Madison's YouTube. You can see me right now in my Coors Light vest. Ben Johnson, for what it's worth, in Chicago, tough place to win the press conference. He won the press conference. That doesn't mean a lot, but it means something. And look, Sirianni lost the press conference for the Eagles, and Dan Campbell has as well. This is never set in stone. But at least it's kind of like why I was so excited the Bears beat the Packers, is I didn't have to hear the clip over and over again of Daryl Johnson saying, oh, the Bears are going to screw this up. Then they fumble it, and that was just going to be my life for the whole offseason. And now Jaguar fans have Liam Cohen and this sort of Brett Bielema-esque. If you remember when Brett Bielema left the Badgers, he went down to Arkansas, and he did a whole pig suey thing with the assembled media and fans, and it was brutal.
Would you like to hear Liam Cohen's impersonation?
I was just I knew you were getting it. Like, we're on that same wavelength, so yes, let me hear it.
Duval.
It's so bad.
Duval.
Just loop it. Just loop it for Jaguars fans all off season.
Yeah, someone's got to go check on former Jim, Matt, and Molly fill-in host Colin Russo.
He is down there at ESPN West Palm now.
Yes, and he's a Jaguars fan.
I mean,
so.
I don't know how much Jaguars they talk down there in South Florida, but yeah, I'm sure they're talking about it, and he's talking about it.
The Duvals, that's so bad.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's...
Is there a Packers... Nobody's ever asked the coach. Who asked that question? Why did he do it? Like, nobody asked Matt LaFleur to say, can we get a... Hey, Coach LaFleur, at your opening press conference, can we get a go, Pack, go?
I mean, I'm not totally sure.
Like Green Bay to me.
I don't have the context of how it came up in the press conference, but either way, I don't think there's much of an excuse for why that came out of his mouth.
If Ben Johnson did a duh Bears, I'm like, oh, God, we're
Yeah.
done. If Coach LaFleur did a go, Pack, go, what are we doing?
I'm trying to think if there's anything like Duval. I mean, it's like who dey. The Bengals say that. Who dey is what the Saints say. Who dat is what the Who dat is what the Saints say. Who dey is what the Bengals say. It's so confusing.
I don't know why the Bengals say who dey.
Because who dey think they're gonna beat the Bengals, and then Saints fans say who
They're in
dat.
Ohio. What accent is that?
I don't know, dude. Ohio, Cincinnati. I'll be honest. I have family who lives there. My brother lives there now. He's with my sister-in-law down there.
It is further south than I thought.
It is. It's a weird little mishmash of like Midwest, Rust Belt, and the South. Like, depending on where you are, you might be with Kentucky fans who are watching them play Tennessee on a given Saturday, or you might be watching Ohio State play Michigan. It's two very different worlds depending on what side of the river you're on.
Man, it is it's brutal. That's like, I'm trying to think of like Brett Bielema used to do the on Wisconsin at the end of every call. Like, I feel like coaches trying to tie in their fight call or saying into what you're doing is brutal.
It's almost as bad as Russell Wilson, Broncos country.
Oh,
Let's ride.
God, yes.
Let's ride.
Like, slogans can they go away?
At
least
they
from
can.
Like fans, fine, whatever. But they're mostly self-parodying.
There's no one worse than the guy over on the other side of the Mississippi too, in Minneapolis.
I was like, who are you talking about? What's Paul Allen's?
Paul Allen. Oh, no, not him. I'm talking college.
Oh, PJ Fleck rowed the boat?
Rowing that boat right down the river.
God, I was listening to something, and it was like some sort of generic. It might have even been like a movie, but they were talking about like getting a coach like, everyone's got to get rowing in the right direction. I'm like, oh, God.
Is it a movie about rowing, I hope?
No, I don't think so.
Is it that new one with about the Olympics?
What?
I don't know. It came out last year.
There's Olympic rowing?
Yeah, there's an Olympic
rowing
rowing
movie.
movie.
Like, in all due respect to Matt, the Olympics is just like a collection of sports that nobody really cares about, but like we'll just pretend to care about once every 4 years.
Rowing is cool, though, if you're a Wisconsin fan, because a lot of the people on the rowing team for the U.S. are Wisconsin grads. So that does matter for us. Also Stanford, for what it's worth.
I watched a movie last night. I'm just going to do this because then we're going to go to break. But I want to recommend this one to our fans since I just filibustered for a little bit there. True Spirit. I'm just going to tell you right now, I am now no longer interested. Go to space and go prove how big or small you are, all you want. I don't care anymore. More people have been to space, Prime, than have sailed around the world. I watched a movie called True Spirit, the story of Australian teenager Jessica Watson, the youngest person ever to sail solo nonstop around the world. It's on Netflix. It's got basically 7.0, and it's her story, and it's how she sailed around the world. It's with a sailboat. Like, I'm sorry, if you want to impress me, space ain't gonna do it anymore. Tell me you sailed around the world. Can't buy your way to sail around the world. You know what I mean? Like, you can buy yourself a big rocket to show off how big your rocket is. You can't. What you can't do is sail around the world unless you do it yourself.
What's more impressive, sailing around the world solo or winning 3 Super Bowls in a row?
Sailing around the world solo. If you watch this thing and you watch what they have to go through, I mean,
you're saying she could beat Patrick Mahomes?
7 months.
She could beat Patrick Mahomes?
No, I'm saying it's more impressive. 7 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Around the world.
I'm glad she made it.
She barely made it.
Well, watch the movie, find out how.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't be spoiling it.
Yeah. There's a moment where we think she's dead, but it was a kids' movie.
It felt pretty good.
Sure, my kids.
Yeah.
But there was a moment they were dragging it. I'm like, I turned to my wife. I'm like, she didn't die, did she? like we got to prepare the kids that this person's not going to make it, because it's based on a true story. So it's like watch a movie about an actual person dying as opposed to like, you're watching a movie, it's not real, but like.
Yeah, it's when you really start to feel it.
I was like, there's no way they made a movie about a girl who didn't make it around the world. Like, and sell it as a kid's movie. That's a hard lesson for kids to learn on a Sunday afternoon.
You ever seen Bridge to Terabithia?
Yes.
Kids my age will understand that reference.
Well, I mean, never-ending story. I mean,
Hey,
the
want to talk about broken hearts?
Yeah.
Bills fans think they have it bad.
Or
imagine being a 10-year-old watching that movie.
It's the dog one.
Marley and Me.
No, Marley and Me. No, Old Yeller.
Oh, you're really getting old now.
Right.
Talk about turds in your pocket.
But that's the classic.
That is like the original.
I don't think I've ever seen or read Old Yeller because by the time, again, I'm not that old. By the time, nobody's tricking me. Like, you knew. You weren't getting tricked into that. But Bambi's rough too, though. Like, Bambi just starts with pop, mom's dead, let's get the movie rolling.
Yeah, that's like if somebody, it's like, oh, spoiler alert, To Kill a Mockingbird. All right, guys. Look, this is like I didn't understand in 7th grade, but by the time I got to 8th grade, I didn't want it spoiled for me in English class.
Anyways, we're going to do Don't Quote Me reviews next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally, and safely with no drugs or injections, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, or exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can lose weight quickly and keep the weight off for good with an easy-to-follow maintenance plan that includes ongoing personal support. And our program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast than most other programs. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation now.
Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. I was able to drop 40 pounds thanks to Madison Weight Loss. It's the only program I've ever experienced to actually achieve my weight loss goals. Check out MadisonWeightLoss.com to schedule a free consultation and see how the program can help you.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation now at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful, energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is where you can find the area's best high school basketball games all season long. Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. Catch star recruits, rivalries, and state championship contenders every Tuesday night. It's Tuesday Night Hoops on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on 100.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane's sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at GreatDanePub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
I'm basically spending every commercial break, and Chrissy Birdsall can confirm this, watching hilariously bad clips from Liam Cohen's introductory press conference with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is brutal. I'm Jim Rutledge. Again, this is Jim, Matt, and Molly, but it's just me. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. We'll be rejoined by Alex G. and Tarek Saleh later with some crosstalk. You can see me on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. I think Chrissy and Prime are in the shot now as well. So get into the show, 844-770-3776 on the Carbless Talk and text line. List is more. We'll also get to our Siding Unlimited poll question. A lot of people chimed in. JJ in Poinette with The Boys in the Boat was the movie that you were talking about last segment there, Primetime.
Yeah, I never saw it. I heard it was very middle of the road, as I would expect most rowing movies to be. Rowing, not a sport that I envision having a lot of conflict, particularly. Kind of like the Chiefs' three-peat run.
The waves?
Yeah, it's more of you against the water, or you working with a team, which is just like good, but not movie-worthy, I guess. Not the sport I would pick.
It's kind of one of those, like, this could have been a book.
It was a book.
Yeah,
it was remade from a book. Yes,
right. Like 100%. It was a good book. I don't know if it necessarily needs to be a movie.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Yeah,
but I don't need to visualize it.
Hey, and just like Matt Hamilton, the Olympics sells. So what are you gonna do?
Yes, I want to get to Don't Quote Me in a minute, but I also have another rule now for you're going to be a bad head coach. One is if you do your team fight song or fight chant or whatever in your open press conference, you're cooked. It's over. Another one, acronyms. Coach Eberflus with the Bears had the HITS principle. I can't. It's gross. Like, it's just bad. This one for the Jaguars is FAST, is Liam Cohen's acronym.
Okay.
And the first one already gets me because this always bothers me. Fundamentally sound. So it's like, obviously, you had to put a word in front of a word.
You're making the acronym work. You're trying to make it happen.
So already I'm out because, like, this ain't it. And then you got attacking. Situational masters. What?
Wow. So it's actually FASMT. FASMT.
And then tough.
Okay. What do you think about the acronym TEAM?
Who has team? Who does
the
team?
back of Luke Fickell's vest?
That's right. Yes. I don't like it.
Okay. Well, but he's cooked? You're saying it's over? We got to move on from Fickell?
Not great. He's got to prove me wrong.
Oh, boy. Better or worse than row the boat?
We all can agree it's better than that. But also, college football, a little different. You got still kids.
So this is an NFL rule.
Yeah. I mean, imagine you're in you weren't that far from college. Chrissy's in college. Like, your teachers come in, you're just more willing to buy the crap they're selling you. And you're like, okay, fine, team, fast, hits, whatever.
Chrissy, someone currently in college, say yes or no about this?
Absolutely no.
Oh,
Absolutely
you would
no.
Okay. Because I would say, like, as a professional, you go into a place, especially the longer you've been there, you'd be like, what is this guy doing?
Can't be sold a bag up.
Especially if you're Jaguars, you're like Urban Meyer, like Doug Peterson, I got this guy.
Yeah, you probably sniff it out pretty quickly, you would think.
What do you think Urban Meyer's acronym was?
I don't think we can say that on the air.
Does it start with an F? And with an
It's
K?
an F and then just multiple asterisks.
With the Jaguars, weep. That's our acronym.
But only when you're in Ohio.
It means fundamentally sound, underprepared, co-eds.
Okay.
And know everything.
Know everything. Oh, I see.
Situationally.
There you go. There
Situationally. All right, let's get to Don't Quote Me.
We're not saying it's gonna happen,
Let it ride!
but if it does, then we want credit.
Say that again, because that is an amazing take.
I told you all.
If not, well,
Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said.
Yeah, and much like, Urban Meyer's catchphrase, acronym.
So and this
don't
is a
quote
true,
us.
This is a true
We're
story.
talking about our
one of my
don't quote me.
good friends at UW Lacrosse, much like the Falkers. His last name was Fuchs. So
I have a buddy whose last name is Cook, spelled K-O-K.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a tough one. He has to explain that to a lot of people when he first meets them.
Yeah, nobody believes that's how you say it.
Yeah, nobody believes you. And nobody
chose to say it like that.
And nobody believes that somebody here made the prediction on Friday during our Don't Quote Me long shot predictions for the AFC and NFC championship games. One member of this show predicted that not only would Patrick Mahomes have 3 passing touchdowns, but the Chiefs would also win on a last-second field goal and score 30 points for the first time this season. Who's taking credit for that one?
I am. I was close. He had 3 total touchdowns.
You're very close.
It was a game-winning field goal. It just wasn't last second.
In the final 3.5 minutes?
It was the last point scored in
the
game.
last point scored.
And the Chiefs won, and they got 30 with that field goal.
They got 32. Yeah. I was thinking about it the whole game. I was like, wow. I think they actually said on the broadcast it was Mahomes' first time with multiple rushing touchdowns in a playoff game.
Yeah.
So you would not have accounted for the rushing touchdowns when you make the prediction.
No, and I did see somewhere that I think it was, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. They've gone to 7 straight AFC championships?
7 straight.
So one of the early ones, he
Being
rolled,
in the AFC must
he
be
rolled
so
his
much fun.
ankle in one of them, and they hadn't had him run really. They haven't called a design run for him in like 4 years.
Yeah, he hurt his ankle his second season as a starter. He hurt it on doing a tush push against the Broncos.
That's what it was. Okay.
And then they've been super careful with him since. But it doesn't matter because they do the rollout play action thing with the running back leaking up. It's people think the tush push is unstoppable. Yeah. I've never seen somebody stop the Chiefs from doing that.
Well, right, because they did it with Perrine to get the.
They did it with Perrine later in the game. They did it with back in the day. They did it with Tyreek Hill all the time.
True, but they did it to get the first down with Pacheco too.
Yes,
he got tackled out of bounds, or he slipped out of bounds, so then they had to do it again. But,
yes, once again, it'd be great if the Packers could do that. By the way, they picked up 0 third down conversions with the running back this year. The Packers.
Wow.
By passing, I should say. Excuse me.
Okay,
so
but
through
still,
the air, throwing it to the running
again,
back.
that's where you need a compliment.
Exactly.
To Jacobs.
Exactly. But I just needed to bring it around to the Packers for a second. After that, some of our other not quite as close predictions.
We're going to close with your good one then?
Yeah, well, we'll come around. I didn't want to take credit yet. Somebody thought that the Commanders would win and that Jane Daniels would have 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. They were right about the turnovers.
He didn't turn it over? I thought he ended up turning it over.
He did not. No, everyone else on his team turned the ball over, I'm pretty sure, though.
I'll be honest, I lost interest when I had to step away from the game, and by the time I was able to get back around to it, I'm like, what the hell happened?
That was a game where, well, actually, okay, you know what? Jane Daniels did have a pick. I think it was towards the end of the game his pick happened.
Yeah.
That's why I missed it. But yeah, that was one if you walked away in the second half, nobody was blaming you. Yeah. Like if that had been, that was the Broncos-Panthers Super Bowl. But in a championship game, essentially. Yeah. Not the most entertaining game. Lastly, somebody on the AFC championship game, also maybe the most off of the group this week, saying that the Bills would win and hold the Chiefs to single digits. That went away, I believe, at the start of the second quarter.
What I didn't understand, and we got this via text after the show, I believe, but I don't understand the single digit part. Because the Bills don't have a great defense. It's good. Obviously defense is good enough to get them in the AFC Championship game, but it's not like the Ravens of old or something.
I think people were discounting the Chiefs' offense more than anything. They're thinking it's more of the defensive-led unit, kind of like what Alex G was saying. Defense wins championships.
Yes, single digits from Mahomes in a playoff game at home is a big ask.
Yeah, I don't know if Molly just had a lot of faith in DeMar Hamlin covering Travis Kelce because it did not work, by the way.
No.
Or most of the Bills corners didn't really have a chance in this game. It felt like. No. But yeah, Molly and then also Matt predicting the Commanders win and Jane Daniels having he had a good game, but he was nowhere close. He had 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, and a pick. So it wasn't quite there.
It all just felt ineffective very quickly because Philadelphia was just running away with it.
I felt like there was a chance at the start of the second half. Jane Daniels felt like he was keeping them in the game.
Yes.
And they had that spurt in the second quarter. It made it interesting. But that spurt in the second quarter and all those garbage time points in the second half made me look like a genius, Jim, because I predicted that Commanders-Eagles would be the highest scoring game in the playoffs. And guess what? 55-23 Eagles beating the Commanders is more than the Commanders beating the Lions 45-31.
Yeah.
78 combined points, greater than 76. All because of that one field goal at the end of the first half, by the way.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, Jaden Daniels, he might be my second favorite quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, man. I mean, we all did really well. Your sacks thing didn't work.
No, the sacks wasn't even close.
Was he sacked? I know he sacked once.
Mahomes was sacked once, not until the very end of the game in the fourth quarter.
I remember, because when it happened, I was like, I feel like I didn't see any other sacks.
No, not even close. Well, They had him close a few times, but he's so good at just getting the ball out somehow.
He really is.
And avoiding taking the actual sack.
Again, as a Bears fan, I'm not used to watching. I saw some flashes this year, which was nice, but I'm not used to watching great quarterback play, especially in the pocket, where there was times where I couldn't see Mahomes, and all of a sudden the ball's coming out, going to someone.
Yeah.
Early on, what they were doing with the RPO, I thought they were going to torch Buffalo.
They were a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo seemed to have no answer for it. Good coaching, obviously, by Buffalo to make that change to it, but Juju Smith-Schuster, who thought he was going to make a difference? I didn't know he was on the team anymore. I thought he was gone.
That's why I feel like they are really just in that Patriots vein now. It's like, they have these guys who are always just hanging around.
Yeah.
They're like, when we need them, we can call on them at any point. It's like phone a friend at any time. It's not really, it's like, why do they just get this guy every time? Well, because every other team cuts him.
Yeah.
But when he goes back to the Chiefs, he's like 5 Madden points better.
Right.
Automatically.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt was pretty good still with the Browns, too.
Yeah, but I just mean he kind of was an afterthought. You picked him up week 4.
Yeah, well, because they needed because Pacheco was hurt, too.
But I mean, they just kind of grabbed him out of nowhere.
It's what the Patriots used to do. The Chiefs just do that now.
And then, even Hollywood Brown making some plays.
Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Having that
Worthy's
maybe a catch. Was a catch?
Oh, yeah,
It was 50-50.
Yeah. The Bills could have won that game.
Yes.
They had their opportunities. They weren't robbed. There was some calls that went against them. I thought there was some times. Honestly, I thought watching it, and again, I didn't think they were egregious against the Chiefs, but I was a few times I'm like, oh God, if they call this, people are going to lose their minds because it was kind of 50-50, and they called it against the Chiefs. I remember when Mahomes' first fumble, and I was like, thank God the flag was thrown before the play even snapped because they were offsides, because I was like, people are going to lose their minds if that came late.
Yeah, that's more so what you're hoping for at that point with the Chiefs games. You just don't want it to be marred. You don't want it to end, if the Super Bowl ends the same way the first Eagles-Chiefs game did, where it was the holding on James Bradbury.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough for the narrative that the Chiefs get all the calls.
Yes.
That'll be really tough.
Absolutely.
And let's also run through the Molly's game review from the week, too.
Okay, yeah.
Because all of you guys predicted that the over would hit in Eagles Commanders. That cashed real easy, guys. And then also G and Jim said that Jane Daniels would go over 239.5 passing yards. Matt, even though he predicted that Jane Daniels would have 4 total touchdowns, set under. That was not correct. Jane Daniels had 255 passing yards. And then Travis Kelce over 49.5 yards. All of you guys took that?
Yeah, we missed that one.
That was the one crazy thing is that every other receiver for the Chiefs had a solid game. And
he was a decoy the whole game. I mean, there was times you're watching it, because I would watch, I wanted to see, is he going to get open? Or there's certain times I thought Mahomes would go to him, so you'd watch it. And you could see times, and they were so good that Worthy or Brown would run underneath, and you'd have Kelce. There was a big play late in the game where they had Kelce do a fake pick. They even said it on the broadcast that Kelce ran across, pretended like he was going to pick, then backed up, so he didn't get the pick call. But he was sacrificing stats and everything. So then I don't know if it was Worthy or Brown. I think it was Worthy caught the ball running across the field on the drive the Chiefs scored the last touchdown. But Kelce was a decoy throughout a lot of the game.
Yeah, once again, just doing the Patriots stuff. Though the one thing they did not get was the Patriots calls on Patrick Mahomes, like Matt Hamilton was obsessed with, saying that they would after the Texans game. Matt wanted to throw out there during Molly's game, would Patrick Mahomes have over under 2.5 roughing penalties called on him? I don't think he had one.
No.
I tried to look back. I couldn't find one.
No.
Yeah, you and G both said he would have under that, and Matt, obviously, clearly wanting it to be over, took the over, and that was his biggest haterade moment of the week.
Yeah, I think he was just too online for that. I think sometimes
the
Matt
stuff
gets
in the
caught
Texans,
up in
the stuff in the Texas game was egregious. I thought it was egregious.
Right, but I mean, with all due respect to Matt, I don't think he was watching that knowing egregious. It's just you get caught up in the algorithm and you see this stuff, and all of a sudden Matt's thinking that Mahomes gets 2 to 3 calls per game.
No, I looked it up, actually. Apparently, Josh Allen averaged more roughing calls per game than Mahomes did.
Which is rare because usually the running quarterbacks don't get the calls because they're like, oh, you're running. And
I think it's just because he probably takes more hits than anyone, though,
True,
too.
that's true.
I think the thing is, if you probably did, I don't know if anyone can calculate this, but if you did the percentage of roughing calls for hits taken, I bet Patrick Mahomes is pretty high.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right on that. And he's one of those quarterbacks that doesn't really get hit.
If he gets touched, that flag's coming out.
One more, we'll get the break here. But Josh Allen's tough as nails, man. Jeez.
Oh,
the whole time watching, I'm like, how's this guy not hurt?
He's built to bricks.
Yeah. I mean, he's just getting walloped over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep on trying to pull words. Old as hell.
Walloped? That's not that old.
I feel like feel like my grandpa used the word wallop. It's still around. It's just, I guess words are kind of timeless.
Yeah, typically. Yeah, the English language has been around for a while.
Yeah, so they're all old.
Yeah.
Man. Like if you think about it, Ryan, like all words are just timeless, man.
Well, not Riz. Riz is new.
You got Riz?
I don't got Riz, but I know there's a 6-year-old on Twitter who does. Called the Rizzler.
I didn't know where that was going. All right, this is Jim Matt and Molly presented by Coors Light.
Hey, this is Matt's Chicago Doppelganger. You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN Madison.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text Kettle to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text KETTLE to 321-321. That's Kettle to 321-321.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
They interviewed 17 candidates in Chicago. They really did leave no stone unturned in this search. They wanted to make sure that they spoke to as many people as possible. And Ben Johnson interviewed with other places too. The Jags, the Raiders, the Patriots. They mutually decided on one another. And I think this is a home run hire for the Chicago Bears.
Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Man, I got this right. My hand to my back. You know I'm popping tag. But man, I got this right.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. No Matt Hamilton, no Molly Brown. Just me, Jim Rutledge, alongside Primetime Wollersheim in the Everlight Solar Studio. Chrissy Birdsall with me as well. And we're taking you up until the Great Dane Huddle with Barry Alvarez, Alex G, Tarek Sala. Alex G and Tarek Sala will be Joining me next segment here, we're going to get to throwing stones in a minute, but go be a winner. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. So go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. All right, let's go throw those stones.
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man. I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
And Jim Rutledge, we may not have our stone thrower here today as he's up in Duluth actually throwing some stones this week, but you told me just now in my ear that you have a stone to throw for throwing stones.
Yeah, I won't name the name, but it was not an ESPN Chicago teammate, but someone from Sports Talk Radio in Chicago. I thought unnecessarily... just buried the new offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, Declan Doyle, 28 years old.
What a name.
Weirdly, I know, right? Doesn't really pass the name test of being a good coach in the long run. But aside from that, he is the nephew of Mike Ditka. Interesting. But he is the son of Chris Doyle, who was unceremoniously and properly fired from Iowa and Jacksonville, which we talked about earlier, for basically just being a living piece of garbage. And the unfair part is he's somehow trying to shame the Bears for hiring this guy's son. And I think that is absolutely ridiculous because I'll tell you what, you got to judge people on what you're actually interacting with them. And a 28-year-old who's very highly thought of in the league from with the New Orleans Saints and then now with Denver, and you seem to know. I think it is wildly unfair, unprofessional, and ridiculous to try to conflate what someone's dad might have on views of things to what your views are. And I think that sets a weird precedent. I thought it was extremely shock jock sort of look at me. I want to cause a scene and I want to just shake things up for no good reason. Because, Ryan, I guess you disagree with me. I can't find a reason why this kid's dad specifically matters into him being hired as the offensive coordinator. His dad sins why that has to affect Declan Doyle, except for the naming of Declan.
Declan Doyle's tough. His brother Dylan Doyle has a much better name, but I hate the DD, first of all.
Yeah.
Just, come on, people. Name your kids better, frankly.
No, I did Rosie Rutledge, but still, it's fine.
But even then, that's not as bad. It's doing it with multiple kids when you're trying to make it a thing. It was not a
specific.
Yeah, it's trying to make it a thing is what it is.
Yes.
Anyways, I do not think it automatically makes him unhireable, though I do think he'll be judged at a higher level for any transgressions or any possible transgressions.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something to monitor.
Yes.
Now, whether or not he's going to be a great coordinator is yet to be seen. He's 28, which just makes me feel unfulfilled, I'll be honest, as a 25-year-old. I'm like, this dude's an offensive coordinator? Good for him. And also, he's going to be younger than probably like half the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yep.
I'd say maybe that could be why he might be more qualified, like just too soon.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on
but
that.
I agree with you that I think what his father did and what his transgressions were do not necessarily mean that is Declan's transgression as well.
Right. Now, yes, obviously his leash is short, and that is definitely something his father unfairly passed on to him. But you're right. But all accounts, if Declan's been in the league for a while, the name is the bigger sin.
Yeah, the bigger transgression is the name.
The offensive coordinator part of it, this is basically the idea is that Ben Johnson kind of hired the Ben Johnson. Because honestly, Antoine Randall as wide receivers coach, but also assistant head coach, I feel like he's going to have more influence on the offense than maybe even this guy did. But you had to give him a title to get him away from Denver.
It's the question of, how much impact is Luke Getsy going to have on the Packers offense now?
Right.
And now that he's back, he's a senior offensive coordinator or senior offensive assistant.
Getsy's got a pretty interesting resume where I can't imagine a lot of offensive coordinators fired back-to-back years in season.
Nathaniel Hackett, maybe? Where's he? He has a job somewhere, doesn't he?
But he was fired in season as a head coach and then offensive coordinator, right?
Well, he was fired as a head coach with the Broncos, and then I don't think he got hired anywhere. And then he went to the Jets, and then he was fired after this past offseason.
Right, so Getsy didn't finish the season. Oh, he did finish the season with the Bears, and then he got fired by the Raiders.
I don't know, but the Packers either need a The Packers are either going to hire him as their quarterback's coach or they're going to make him their new offensive coordinator once Adam Stanovich possibly gets hired.
I'm going to throw this out to you. Would you rather Bobby Slowick, former offensive coordinator, once considered a wonderkin as quarterback coach, or former Badger Scott Tolzien?
Tolzien for the vibes. And because he played quarterback for the Packers, too, and he was a really fun backup.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that? And he worked with McCarthy, so he has a true Green Bay connection.
Yeah. And he's, Paul Christ said that, Jeep Christ, kind of related stories, Paul's brother, that Scott lived in the coach's room when he was out in San Francisco. Like, I think Scott's someone that could be an up-and-coming coach. I think Scott would be a great hire for the Packers. I'm actually pro, as long as they're putting in the work and they have the proper resume for it. I'm liking former players as coaches.
Yeah, for sure. I think you have more experience and you have a better outlook on what it's like for the players.
Like Stanovich is interesting because he's basically your O-line coach who has a offensive coordinator title.
But I think when you have an offensive play caller head coach, like the coordinator is always going to be just a high-level position coach usually.
Yes, and again, it goes back to Declan with the Bears of like,
sure.
Just help me run the practices and
fix Cole Kmet.
Yeah, exactly. So because he's tight end coach. But otherwise, I think fix Cole Kmet is actually throwing the ball. That would probably be the first step there.
He needs block too.
Right, Stanovich. The Packers have any other former players? Stanovich was a solid player, so that's why.
Former players on the current coaching staff.
Yeah,
I mean,
not like in a Matt Nagy. I played in Delaware.
Yeah, I don't.
Way.
I don't know if Bisaccia played at like Delaware.
No,
or something.
I was trying to think of like an actual.
Like a notable name, no. Al Harris is going to be with the Bears now.
Yep, and then obviously Antoine Randall L.
JT
Barrett.
They really are trying to do the Lions thing too a little bit.
But I kind of like that the Lions doing that.
Do you like that because the Bears are doing it?
No, I like Kenny Guyton. We talked about this before. I like Kenny Guyton with, and he's going to be on the Jump Around tomorrow. Is that correct?
He will be on the Jump Around tomorrow at 12:45 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
ESPN Madison YouTube show. So Kenny Guyton, former quarterback, I like that too. So I do like it in general. If you can do it, I don't want to force
especially
it.
when your teams are doing it.
Right, but I don't. I like Stanovich for the Packers. I liked also.
Did he play?
Stanovich is a good player, but I would say, or a solid player. I would say this, and we'll go to break. Stanovich, what the Packers are doing with him is a little bit, I say clever because they're doing that sort of. You're an offensive line coach and you're the OC, but then we almost have two offensive line coaches to really be able to get eyes on the run game and the offensive line and really make that work. I think that's a really clever move for the Packers and it'll coach LaFleur. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We're going to do a little crosstalk next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's the 2024 model closeout sale at Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie. Save $11,500 on a 24 Blazer EVRS with 0.9% APR available. Save $2,000 on a 24 Colorado Crew Cab work truck. Save $54.56 on a 24 Silverado HD 2500 Crew Cab 4x4 with 3.9 APR available. Hurry, these closeout deals won't last for long. Visit Zimbrick Chevrolet Sun Prairie and ZimbrickChevrolet.com for details. Offers end January 31st.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Purchase your tickets, grab some friends, and get to the Sylvie on Monday, February 24th for Andy North Trivia Night, presented by Exact Sciences. Enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to the trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Doors open at 6 p.m. Visit AndyNorthAndFriends.com to buy your tickets. Past year's events have sold out quickly, so get your tickets today.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Ryan at the Mountains of Blue, you know what to do.
And that is crush a Coors Light.
I'm live in the Everlight Solar Studio. Alex G. and Tarek Sala out at the Great Dane. Quick note here. John Axford, the single-season saves record holder with the Milwaukee Brewers with 46, did that in 2011. He's going to be inducted to the Brewers Wall of Honor this summer. You can listen to Brewers baseball all summer long here on ESPN Madison. G, you made it out to the Great Dane.
I did. I was cruising. I got stuck behind what I thought was going to be like a full train. You could hear it coming for miles. It was just the very front of the train. It was like the biggest false alarm ever. I was so happy. I've never been more relieved to see the butt of a train in my life.
That's what she said. All right, Tarek Sal there as well?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Great to
Tarek.
hear your voice, Jim.
Yeah, you too. I have a question for both of you. We didn't do this during Stone, so we'll do it now. What are your thoughts on the tush push? Because it's starting – it's not that it's unfair. It's just starting to take away some of the juice from the game. Like, all right, we're just going to push the quarterback into the end zone, and you have to have a physical quarterback, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of risk-reward. It just kind of seems fait accompli. So I'm kind of losing steam on enjoying that play.
Yeah, but listen, you got to execute, right? And Buffalo didn't execute. They're having 17 go off the guard. They got to get behind him, and they got to push him and make sure he gets over it. But, so they weren't able to do that a long time. You weren't able to help the runner. That was a penalty a while ago. So they're able to do that now, and you see some of those big runs at the end of it where they don't really have good leverage, and that O-line comes in and pushes the guy. I guess it would be a good discussion about that, but I kind of like it because I'm that guy in the trenches. I love that. And I think Derek, speaking for Derek, who's not here with us, they like that grinded out stuff. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes. You say, G-Man.
What is everyone talking about today? It's all about this bad calls that the refs are making, specifically the 4th and 1 Josh Allen went for it. It's the pinnacle of everything we're talking about. Of course it's good.
Yeah, but this isn't like you're under the all publicity is good publicity. Like Josh Allen doesn't even come close to nipping the line if an offensive lineman doesn't throw.
Close.
Well, listen, let me finish. If the offensive lineman doesn't throw his body behind him to push him past the line. So to the point of we wouldn't have this controversy, we could still just be talking about the game then.
See, but everyone's just angry. Is football too soft, or is it not manly enough? Right? Like, or is it too manly? Because this is as hardcore as it gets. We're just going to line up and be stronger than you.
But it's not a strong thing because the push. I don't mind. It's the push part because now it's not football. It's rugby.
So when you're lifting, how are you lifting? You're pushing, right?
But Buffalo didn't really use the push as well as they should have.
Yeah. Exactly. So
they
didn't get the first down.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah,
it is stoppable. You have to get a guy who you like. You don't see Lamar Jackson doing this because he's not the guy to do that. You see the big, strong
Mahomes,
quarterbacks.
They don't do it with Mahomes.
Exactly.
He's got hurt.
The Packers don't do it with Love. They bring Tucker Kraft in because they want to be successful and prove that they have the assets to do it.
And Hurts is built for that.
Exactly.
So then they do it with him, and that makes up for whatever else maybe he's lacking, but he's a little tougher, more durable than those other quarterbacks.
Because Hurts is throwing 150 yards per game right now in the playoffs or whatever it is. I mean, he's had multiple games in the 100-yard passing range. So you have to make up for it with something, and it's the fact that he can squat 600 pounds.
He threw for 246 yards yesterday.
In that game, yes. But the first two games was like 138 and 140.
Take that for that.
Yeah. He scored 2 touchdowns, and Jordan Love is enjoying watching him from home. All right, you guys have a good show.
Exactly, because they made up for it.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah. All right, this is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We'll be back at it tomorrow, figuring out why the Packers aren't in the Super Bowl. Again, blow off that dusty trophy for the Packers. Listen to Back Wisconsin on the Man, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. We'll see you tomorrow.
Coors Light presents